Kevin and Lisa worked on the final piece of the puzzle, the trail of coordinates. Each point led farther from the solar system, deeper into the unknown. Every point contained more instructions, hidden messages, and warnings. Humans were being guided towards something important. Lisa studied the data. I think we are being prepared, not just to survive, but to fight, to understand the hunters, to possibly stop them. Kevin's eyes widened. Then, Earth is not helpless. We have a chance to change everything. The fleet was ready. Earth's combined forces, though small, were organized. Every vessel, every pilot, every scientist had a role. Every person understood that this was no longer a game. Survival depended on preparation, strategy, and courage. In orbit, Ethan spoke to the fleet. We are marked. That is true. But being marked does not mean we are defeated. We have knowledge, we have courage, and we have each other. The galaxy may see us as small, but we will prove that humans are not easy to destroy. We will follow the path, learn what we can, and survive. Kevin and Lisa sent final instructions to all fleets based on their decoding. Shield patterns, energy routes, and emergency maneuvers were shared. Humanity's technology was primitive compared to the hunters, but their minds were sharp. Every small improvement mattered. As Earth's ships moved along the coordinates, the universe watched. Alien fleets observed silently. The hunters themselves were still far away, but the signs were clear. The galaxy had noticed a new player. A small, fragile world, yet brave and determined. Kevin looked at the stars through the lab window. We are small, he said. We are young. But we are alive, and we will not give up. Not now. Lisa placed her hand on his shoulder. Then we move forward. Every step matters. Every action counts. This is our chance. Marked for attack, Earth triggered galactic panic. With just one message, Sci-fi Earth had always been quiet in the vastness of space. People lived their lives on the planet without thinking much about what lay beyond the sky. Stars were bright dots, and planets were just points of light in the night. Humans had sent satellites and small probes far into space, but no one had ever thought that anyone or anything was listening back. In a remote part of Nevada, a research station sat on a high plateau. Its metal towers and satellite dishes rose toward the sky. Inside, Dr. Kevin Brooks and his small team were working on a project they called the Deep Listen Experiment. Their goal was simple: to try to detect signals from distant space. No one knew exactly what they would find. Most of the time, the machines captured only empty noise, static that had traveled for millions of miles. Kevin leaned over a computer screen, rubbing his eyes. The lab smelled of coffee and metal. Beside him, Lisa Carter, a young and curious astrophysicist, was adjusting a scanner. The screen flickered with strange patterns of light and sound. "This is different," Lisa said, her voice low. She tapped the keyboard carefully, bringing the signal into focus. Kevin squinted at the screen.
"Different how?" "Listen," she said. The sound was faint at first, almost like a whisper carried on the wind.
Then it repeated slowly, over and over, a series of clicks and tones that did not match any pattern humans had seen. Kevin's stomach tightened. That's not random. The team gathered around. There was an unspoken tension in the room. Usually they were excited to find a strange signal, but this one felt wrong. For hours, they tried to decode it. The signal was complicated, layered, and clearly intelligent. Kevin had never seen anything like it. There was no greeting, no signs of friendship, Only one phrase seemed to emerge from the noise, marked for attack. Kevin froze. He read the words again and again. It didn't make sense. Who would send a message like this? And why would they send it to a planet like Earth? A small, quiet world.
Lisa leaned closer.
It's not just a warning.
It's a label. They're marking us.
Kevin rubbed his face. Marking us for what? Before anyone could answer, another thought struck him. The signal was old. Maybe it had been traveling for thousands of years. Or longer. Something that long-lasting could not be casual. The team stayed silent, staring at the monitors. Kevin finally took a deep breath. We need to send a message back. The room went quiet again. Sending messages into space was dangerous. Humans didn't know who would listen. Some messages could cause panic. Others could attract attention they didn't want. But Kevin felt a strange mixture of fear and curiosity. Lisa hesitated. What do we say? Kevin's hands hovered over the keyboard. Just ask them to explain. Something simple. And so they did. This is Earth. Explain. They sent the message with the station's strongest transmitter. It took minutes for the signal to leave the planet, traveling faster than anything humans could see. Kevin and his team watched the screen as the data disappeared into space. At first, nothing happened. No response. Nothing but the hum of the machines. Kevin leaned back in his chair. Maybe we won't get an answer. Then the alerts began. It started as small pings on the monitoring system. Signals intercepted from far away. Messages bouncing through alien networks, encrypted and strange. Kevin didn't understand the codes, but Lisa did.
She looked at the patterns with wide eyes. They're
Watching us. Kevin swallowed. Who? How many? I don't know, she admitted. But it's not just one. It's many. Hundreds. Thousands. Panic rose inside the small lab. For the first time, Kevin felt the weight of the decision they had made. They had sent a simple question. But the answer was coming from a galaxy that had rules humans did not know. Hours passed. The messages grew stronger, faster, and more urgent. In distant parts of space, alien civilizations noticed Earth for the first time. Some of them had forgotten that such a small world existed. Others remembered, but only as a minor planet not important enough to interfere with. Now, the name Earth flashed on their monitors, repeated in alarms and chatter across the galaxy. On a council world far from the Milky Way, leaders gathered in panic. Ships were put on high alert. Old protocols were activated. Entire fleets, silent for centuries, began moving. Something had been triggered. Back on Earth, Kevin and Lisa didn't know the full scale of what had happened. They only knew the signals were growing stronger, as if the galaxy itself was paying attention. This is bigger than we thought, Kevin said. Much bigger. Lisa nodded. We've started something, and I'm not sure we can stop it. As the hours turned into days, Earth's sky didn't change, but space beyond it had. Strange movements appeared at the edge of the solar system. Satellites detected tiny objects moving in formation, shapes humans had never built. They were watching, waiting. Kevin and Lisa presented their findings to the government. The room was filled with officials, military leaders, and scientists. General Sean Murphy, a man with sharp eyes and a deep voice, spoke first. You sent a message into space without clearance? He demanded. Kevin tried to explain. We didn't know what it was. We didn't know what it was. We thought it might be a signal from some distant star. We were listening. Not talking, Lisa added,
We didn't know it was intelligent.
The general shook his head. Dangerous? This is more than dangerous. We might have called attention to forces we can't even imagine. Kevin felt a chill run down his spine. He thought about the words again. Marked for attack. Could it really be a threat to the entire planet? That night, Kevin and Lisa stayed at the lab. They watched the sky through telescopes and monitors. The stars were the same, bright and beautiful. But they felt different, threatening. The universe felt larger, darker, and more dangerous than they had ever imagined. Kevin stared at the signal on the screen. He tried to imagine what kind of civilization would send such a warning. Ancient, powerful, and merciless. Something that had survived long enough to have its own rules, beyond anything humans knew. Lisa's voice broke the silence. Do you think they'll come for us? Kevin didn't answer immediately. He didn't want to imagine it. He shook his head slowly. I don't know. But we have to be ready. For the next few days, the research station became a hub of activity. Military teams arrived to study the signals. Scientists worked around the clock to decode the messages. Every monitor, every screen, every computer was filled with information that no human had ever seen before. Kevin noticed a strange feeling in the air. It wasn't just fear. It was excitement. Humanity had finally made contact. Not peaceful contact, not friendly, but contact all the same. And for the first time, Earth was part of the larger galaxy. Lisa found a small breakthrough while decoding a fragment of the original message. Hidden in the noise were patterns, not just words, numbers, coordinates, something else that felt deliberate, like a hint. Kevin leaned over her shoulder.
Do you think it's a trap? Lisa shook her head. I don't know.
But someone wanted us to see it. Someone wanted us to respond. And now, everyone is noticing. The first part of this story ended not with a bang, but with a signal, a single message that crossed the void, small and simple. This is Earth. Explain. But the reply, when it came, would change everything, because the universe had noticed the humans, and it had remembered them. And for the first time, humanity was marked for attention, marked for danger, marked for a choice that would decide the fate of the planet. Kevin looked at the night sky through the lab window, his hand resting on the metal sill. He saw stars shining like tiny points of hope, and yet they felt cold. He didn't know what would happen next, but he understood one truth. Earth would never be quiet again, and somewhere in the dark reaches of space, countless civilizations had noticed, countless fleets had stirred, countless minds had whispered the same warning. Earth had been marked, and now the galaxy was awake. While Earth slept, unaware of the full consequences of its message, the galaxy stirred. Far beyond the Milky Way, in a part of space humans could not yet imagine, the name Earth flashed across screens and devices on countless worlds. Signals had traveled faster than thought possible, bouncing between civilizations, alerting them all to a single fact. A small, quiet planet had answered a warning message. Captain Nathan Cole sat in the command room of the patrol ship Argent Dawn. His eyes scanned rows of screens filled with strange codes and alerts. The ship hummed with energy, engines ready for instant travel. Nathan was tall, with a calm face and dark hair. Beside him, his first officer, Maya Ross, studied the data streams, her brow furrowed in concentration. They're calling it the trigger, Maya said, her voice tense. Earth? It triggered something. Nathan frowned. Triggered what? Explain. Maya shook her head slowly. It's an old fear, something the galaxy hasn't seen in centuries. But Earth answered, and now it is awake. Nathan leaned back. Awake? Awake to what? Before Maya could answer, an incoming message appeared on the main screen. It was coded in a language he did not know, but the translation system worked quickly. The words appeared in a simple, harsh tone, marked for attack. Nathan's stomach tightened. The words were the same ones Kevin Brooks had seen on Earth, but spoken by a voice that carried weight, authority, and history. Maya looked at him, her voice barely a whisper. They are talking about the hunters? They are an ancient force, Maya explained. They mark worlds before they destroy them. Entire civilizations have disappeared under their path. When a world is marked, it usually never recovers. Nathan's hands tightened on the console.
And Earth, they're marked? Maya nodded.
And now that humans have responded, the alarm has spread. The galaxy is panicking. Far away on another planet called Orvok, a council chamber filled with leaders of various civilizations. The walls glowed with soft blue light, and the floor was a polished metal that reflected every figure in the room. One of the leaders, a tall humanoid named Senator Adrian Voss, stood and addressed the assembly. This is how it begins, he said, his voice firm and echoing. Once a world is marked, the hunters do not forget. We cannot ignore this.
We cannot delay. Other leaders murmured in agreement or disagreement.
Some were afraid. Others were angry. A few were silent, listening to the panic grow. We must act immediately, one council member said. We destroy the planet before the hunters arrive. If Earth draws attention, it could endanger us all. Another shook her head. We cannot do that. They are new, unknown. But we can contain them. Isolate the solar system completely. Cut all communication. Hide them, keep them small. Keep them weak. Debate filled the chamber, voices raised in alarm. Outside, fleets of ships began moving. Ancient warships, long silent, activated their engines. Fighters and carriers formed lines, preparing for the unknown. Earth had changed the galaxy with a single signal. Back on Earth, Kevin Brooks and Lisa Carter were unaware of the full scale of the reaction. They had seen some strange signals, yes, but nothing like the fleets now moving in space. At the research station, they worked day and night, trying to decode the original message. Lisa leaned over her console, eyes wide. Kevin, look at this. Kevin looked at the data. Strange patterns pulsed across the screen. What is it? I think, but also a hint. Something hidden in the noise. Coordinates, maybe? A path. Someone wanted us to see it. Kevin stared at the screen, trying to make sense of it. Coordinates for what? Lisa shook her head. I don't know yet, but whoever sent the original message wanted us to respond. And now everyone in the galaxy is noticing us. Across the stars, alien fleets communicated in clicks, pulses, and voices. The word Earth spread from system to system like wildfire. Some civilizations were curious. Others were terrified. Some wanted to attack immediately. Others debated what to do. But the panic was universal. Captain Nathan Cole watched his console. They're mobilizing fleets, he said. Every system is preparing. This is bigger than anything we've seen before. Maya nodded. It is. Earth has lit a spark, and no one knows what will happen next. In a distant solar system, Commander Jalen received news that Earth had responded. He was the messenger, the envoy of an ancient council. He had lived for hundreds of years, serving civilizations that had survived threats the galaxy could barely remember. He looked at the data, his face pale. This small world, they have answered. They have spoken, and now the galaxy fears them. Back on Earth, the world slowly began to notice. Satellites picked up unusual objects moving near the solar system. Strange signals appeared, faint but consistent. People did not yet know what they were. News channels spoke of satellites going offline, but no one connected it to the message Kevin and Lisa had sent. At the Pentagon, General Sean Murphy paced the room. "We need to prepare for something," he said. "We don't know what. But this is bigger than any threat we have ever faced." Scientists and military advisors crowded around him. Kevin and Lisa explained what they had found. The message, the words. "Marked for attack," Kevin said. "It's not a threat from Earth. It came from somewhere else. Something ancient, something powerful." Lisa added, "And now, because we answered, the galaxy is awake. They are all watching us. Every system, every fleet we might have triggered panic." Murphy's face darkened. Panic is an understatement. The entire galaxy could react. Earth could be a target just by being noticed. Kevin felt a chill. "We didn't even ask for this."
We just replied. "That is exactly why it matters," Murphy said.
By speaking, we made ourselves visible. And now the galaxy is responding. And not kindly. In orbit above Earth, the first reconnaissance fleets began to arrive. They did not attack immediately. They moved slowly, observing, scanning. Shapes unlike anything humans had built drifted through space, silent and large. Ships with smooth curves, glowing lights, and strange energy fields, watching, waiting. Captain Ethan Price, leading the newly formed orbital defense fleet, stared at the shapes. He was a tall man with steady hands and calm eyes. "They're not attacking yet," he said. "They're waiting." Kevin and Lisa worked tirelessly in the lab, decoding the signals. Patterns emerged, and the messages revealed something unexpected. Earth was not only marked for observation, but was also being studied. Someone, somewhere, had decided that humans should respond.
Lisa leaned back, exhausted. They expected us to answer.
Someone wanted us to react. Kevin shook his head. Who? Why? The answers were not yet clear, but one fact was undeniable. Earth had entered the galaxy's stage, and the stage was not safe. The panic spread beyond fleets and councils. Citizens of distant worlds watched news from the Galactic network. Alerts warned of a small, strange planet that had answered a warning message. It was unusual, unpredictable, and dangerous. Some worlds prepared to strike preemptively. Others prepared defenses. Most did not know what Earth could do, only that it had done something bold, something risky. Nathan Cole stood on the bridge of the Argent Dawn. "I've studied hundreds of civilizations," he said quietly to Maya. "I've never seen a world react like this. Answering a message? It's reckless, but impressive."
Maya nodded. "Yes, but reckless can be dangerous."
Especially when the hunters are involved. Nathan's eyes darkened. Then we watch, and we prepare. Back on Earth, Kevin and Lisa finally decoded more of the original message. It was not just a warning. It contained a pattern. Hidden coordinates, a trail pointing somewhere beyond the solar system. Kevin looked at the coordinates. This could be a place where we confront them, or where the hunters come from. Lisa's eyes widened. Then someone sent the message on purpose, not to threaten us directly, but to guide us. Kevin nodded slowly. We are small, we are weak, but maybe we were chosen for a reason. For the first time, fear mixed with hope. Humans had made a mistake, yes. They had triggered panic. They had drawn the galaxy's attention. But they had also made a choice to respond, a choice to act. And somewhere in the depths of space, countless civilizations were reacting, some with fear, some with caution, some with anger. All watched Earth closely now. The small, quiet world had made a sound, and the galaxy had listened. And for the first time, humans realized that they were no longer alone. The galaxy had woken, and Earth was at the center of the storm. Earth had always been peaceful. Humans went about their daily lives, rarely thinking about what might exist in the vast darkness beyond the stars. But now, everything had changed. Strange signals and objects appeared near the solar system. Satellites went offline. Communications flickered with unknown interference. Something was coming, and Earth was no longer safe. Dr. Kevin Brooks paced the briefing room in Washington. Officials, military leaders, and scientists crowded in, all looking tense and anxious. The walls were lined with screens showing unusual data from space. Kevin's hands shook slightly as he tapped the table. He had never imagined that a simple message would bring the attention of the galaxy. General Sean Murphy stood at the head of the room. His face was stern, and his voice carried authority. "You sent a message into space without clearance," he said, addressing Kevin and Lisa. Kevin swallowed. "We didn't know what it was. We thought it might be a signal from a distant star, maybe even a distress call. We were listening, not speaking." Lisa Carter stepped forward.
"We didn't know it was intelligent or dangerous. The message..."
The words we decoded, they said, "Marked for attack." Murphy's eyes narrowed. "And you answered?" Kevin nodded. "Yes, we sent a simple question back. We didn't know it would trigger this."
Murphy ran a hand through his hair.
"You have no idea what you have started. The entire galaxy is reacting.
Fleets are moving. Civilizations are on alert.
You've drawn attention to Earth, and we don't know if it's good or bad." Kevin and Lisa exchanged worried glances. The small research station in Nevada suddenly felt very far away. Just then, a new signal appeared on the main screen. It was strong, clear, and direct, unlike the faint message from before. This one was almost like a voice. The translation system activated automatically, converting the message into basic English. "You have been marked. Remain silent or be erased." The room went silent. No one moved. Kevin felt the color drain from his face. Lisa whispered, "It's not a threat. It's a warning." "They're serious." General Murphy stepped closer to the screen, his voice low. "Who is sending this?" A recorded video feed appeared, showing a humanoid figure, tall and imposing, with a voice that carried authority. "I am Commander Jalen of the Galactic Council," the figure said. "You have endangered your world and all nearby life. The signal you sent has drawn attention from forces beyond your understanding. You are marked for observation. You are marked for judgment. And you are marked for survival, if you choose wisely." Kevin felt a chill. Observation, judgment, survival? Lisa shook her head. "It sounds like they're giving us a chance." but it depends on what we do next. Murphy turned to the scientists in the room. Explain what they mean.
What are we dealing with? Lisa took a deep breath. The message we received originally, it was a warning about something called the Hunters.
They are an ancient force, a civilization, or species, that destroys worlds. They mark planets before they attack. Entire civilizations have disappeared once marked. They are not like anything humans have seen. Powerful, advanced, and merciless. Kevin added, and Earth?
We are now marked. Because we answered, we are now part of the galaxy's radar.
The Hunters have noticed us, or at least the Council thinks they will, and the Council is warning us to stay silent or face destruction. A weight of the words pressed down on everyone in the room. Silence followed. For the first time, humanity understood that the galaxy was not empty. It was alive, it was watching, and it was dangerous. Murphy spoke finally. If what you are saying is true, we cannot hide. We cannot ignore this. I was escaped at any time in my life, falling into the dark when asking you to try Peng. Kevin nodded. We need to decode more of the original signal.
Lisa has found patterns, coordinates.
Hidden in the noise, someone wanted us to see them. They were leaving a path. Lisa turned to the large screen. The Hunters are coming, but these coordinates, they might lead to a place where we can confront them, or where we can understand them. I'm not sure yet, but it's our only lead. Murphy rubbed his chin. And you think it's safe to follow? Kevin shook his head slowly. Nothing about this is safe. But doing nothing is worse. If we wait, Earth could be destroyed before we have a chance. Meanwhile, in orbit, Captain Ethan Price watched the dark shapes that had begun to appear near the solar system. Strange alien ships, unlike anything humans had built, moved with silent precision. They did not attack immediately. They observed. They scanned. They waited. Ethan spoke to his officers. They're not attacking yet, but they are learning. They are analyzing. Every move we make is being recorded. One officer asked nervously, "Do you think they know we understand the message?" Ethan nodded.
Yes, and they know we are trying to prepare.
That is why they are waiting. They want to see what we will do next. Back on Earth, Kevin and Lisa worked around the clock, decoding more of the signal. Every fragment revealed something new. Hidden within the noise, they found instructions, warnings, and strange coordinates. It became clear that someone had sent the original message deliberately. Someone wanted humans to answer, to react, to learn. Kevin looked at Lisa, exhausted but determined. We didn't just trigger panic. We were chosen for a reason. This could be a trap, yes, but it could also be a chance. Lisa nodded. We have to take it. We have to prepare. At the same time, global leaders began to understand the scale of the problem. Fleets of alien ships moved silently through nearby systems. Communication networks across Earth detected strange signals, some friendly, some threatening, and others simply observing. Humanity had no control, only the choice to act or remain silent. Senator Adrian Voss, speaking on a worldwide broadcast, told humans the truth. For the first time in history, Earth is part of a larger galaxy. There are civilizations beyond our knowledge, and we have drawn their attention. Some may wish us harm. Others may wish to guide us. We must be prepared for all possibilities. We are marked, but we are not helpless. People around the world felt fear, yes, but also a strange pride. Humanity had been quiet for centuries, small and unknown. Now they were noticed. Now they mattered. Kevin worked late into the night. He stared at the coordinates on his screen, trying to understand what lay ahead. These coordinates, they are not random. Someone left a path. Someone wants us to follow. Lisa joined him, her eyes tired but bright. We may not understand who sent it or why, but if we follow it, we might find answers. Or we might find a way to survive. The first reconnaissance signals from alien fleets continued to appear. Ships hovered at the edge of the solar system, scanning planets and satellites. Humans watched in awe and fear. These ships were large, powerful, and ancient. They moved with calm precision, reminding everyone that the galaxy was not gentle. Ethan Price and his fleet prepared defensive measures. "We can't fight them yet," he said. "But we can observe."
We can learn, and we can be ready for the moment it counts.
Kevin and Lisa decoded the final part of the original signal. Hidden within the noise was a warning. This is not a punishment. This is a test. Respond wisely. Survive. Kevin stared at the words. A test, he whispered. The hunters, the council, they are testing us. Lisa's eyes widened. Then we have to pass it. For Earth, for humanity. We cannot fail. The room was silent again. Outside, satellites drifted in orbit. Stars shone in the night sky, but the universe felt different. Alive, watching, judging. Humanity had learned the truth. They were marked. The hunters existed. The galaxy was not safe. And yet, a small hope remained. Kevin and Lisa knew the path forward would be dangerous, but for the first time, they understood that being marked was not only a threat, it was a choice. A challenge, a test. And Earth, for all its smallness and simplicity, was ready to face it. The galaxy had sent a warning, but humans had answered. And now there was no turning back. Earth had been marked. The message had spread across the galaxy. Ancient fleets moved quietly at the edge of the solar system. Signals from distant civilizations flickered in communication networks. Humanity had no illusions. The danger was real, and the hunters, whatever they were, could arrive at any time. Kevin Brooks and Lisa Carter worked in the research lab, surrounded by screens, computers, and blinking lights. The lab had become the center of Earth's response. Military leaders, scientists, engineers, and pilots were all there, studying the signals, decoding patterns, and planning strategies. Kevin stared at the screen. These coordinates, they are a trail. Someone left it for us. Someone wants us to follow, but we don't know what we will find at the end. Lisa rubbed her eyes, tired from days of work. It's a risk, but it's the only path we have. If we wait, we will be destroyed. If we follow it, maybe we can survive. Or even fight back. Across the world, governments moved quickly. Fleets were assembled in orbit. Satellites and space stations were reinforced. Earth's combined military forces, once small compared to the fleets of the galaxy, were now united for the first time. Every ship, every satellite, every weapon system was prepared for what might come. Captain Ethan Price stood on the bridge of the largest human ship in orbit, the Starlight Defender. He looked at the assembled fleet, young and old vessels from different countries, patched together but functional. They were small and fragile compared to the alien shapes moving silently at the edge of the system, but they were ready to defend their planet. "Listen," Ethan said to his officers. We are small. We are new. But we are not helpless. The galaxy thinks we are weak. The hunters may think we are easy to destroy, but they have never faced humans who refuse to give up.
Not yet. They will not face us unprepared.
Every ship in the fleet received encrypted coordinates from Kevin's lab. The message was simple. Follow the path, decode the signals, learn the truth, and prepare. Lisa and Kevin worked with the military to understand the hidden instructions. The signals contained strange energy patterns, ways to shield ships, and hints at how to defend against attacks. Earth scientists worked around the clock, modifying engines, weapons, and communication systems. Every discovery was small, but each was important. Meanwhile, Commander Jalen of the Galactic Council communicated again. His message appeared on Earth's screens, clear and direct. You have been marked, he said, but your actions have shown promise. You do not have the experience of older civilizations. You are small, fragile, and young.
Yet you have courage. You may survive if you prepare wisely.
You may even change the fate of worlds if you act boldly.
Kevin looked at Lisa. He's giving us a chance. Not just to survive, but to fight. Lisa nodded. Then, we have no choice. We have to take it. For weeks, Earth prepared. Shipyards built and repaired vessels. Scientists enhanced sensors and communications. Pilots trained day and night, simulating attacks from unknown enemies. Engineers worked on defensive systems that could withstand energy weapons, cloaking, and other technology humans barely understood. Kevin and Lisa discovered something unusual in the signal patterns. Hidden deep in the noise were references to weaknesses in the hunters' systems, their likely strategies, and even possible locations. The message had been sent with care. Someone, somewhere, wanted humans to succeed. Kevin tapped the screen. This is more than a warning. It's a guide. The hunters may be powerful, but they are not invincible. If we follow this, we have a chance. Lisa looked at him. Then we take that chance. For Earth, for humanity, we cannot fail. Captain Ethan Price coordinated with the world's leaders. Our fleet is small, but it is united. The hunters will be expecting us to panic, to hide, to fail. We will do the opposite. We will prepare.
We will learn, and we will fight back if needed.
The first reconnaissance of the hunters' fleet showed they were immense. Ships larger than any human city floated silently at the edge of the solar system. Their hulls were smooth and dark, absorbing light and energy. Weapons glowed faintly, silent but deadly. Humans watched, studied, and recorded everything. Ethan knew they could not match these ships in a straight fight. But humans had other advantages: creativity, unpredictability, and courage. The hunters were ancient, yes, but they had never faced a species that refused to stay silent when threatened. Ethan Price watched his fleet move through space, following the first set of coordinates. The alien shapes in the distance seemed closer now, more defined, yet they did not attack. Humans learned quickly, adapted quickly, and every lesson made them stronger. The first real contact with the hunters was still far away, but Earth had changed. The planet that had once been small and quiet had become something else, a symbol of resistance, a spark of courage, and a player in a galaxy much larger than humans had ever imagined. Kevin and Lisa studied the final set of signals. Hidden messages suggested more than survival. They hinted at opportunity. Humans could do more than just hide. They could strike back, outsmart, and possibly turn the hunters' plans against them. Lisa smiled faintly. We are not helpless.
We are ready.
Kevin nodded.
Yes.
The galaxy marked us, but we marked ourselves. We choose to act, to survive, to fight, and maybe, just maybe, to change the future. For the first time, humanity felt its true power, not in numbers or technology, but in courage, intelligence, and determination. They were small, they were young, but they refused to be crushed. The stars stretched endlessly before them. Fleets moved silently. Alien watchers studied, and the hunters waited. Earth's people had only just begun their journey. They were marked, yes, but they were not defeated. And somewhere deep in the galaxy, ancient forces paused. The humans had answered the message. They had prepared. They had acted. And now, the stage was set for something that had not happened in millennia, a species that refused to stay silent. The panic the galaxy felt had started with one message. The resistance had begun with Earth.